The KTM 390 Duke is a legend of a motorcycle. When the first generation motorcycle was launched in India in 2013, it blew the socks of Indian bikers. We finally had a fast, fun and feature-rich motorcycle, and for that we didn't have to rob a bank to buy or own. And in 2017, they launched the 390 Duke Gen 2. This was a more polished and accessible version of the Gen 1 390 Duke. And 10 years after the 390 Duke Gen 1, KTM has launched the third generation of the 390 Duke. As you guys can see, it's an all-new motorcycle from the ground up. Now, being a Gen 1 KTM 390 owner, I am very excited to ride this motorcycle. So has KTM set a new benchmark with this new motorcycle? Let's ride.
One look at the new 390 Duke and it is clear that KTM designers started with a clean sheet of paper. There is no resemblance with the older bike and the new 390 Duke looks properly fresh and modern. The split LED headlight and the LED DRLs give the bike a very aggressive face. But the main design element is the large fuel tank and the massive shrouds. The new bike looks properly butch and muscular. In fact, the dimensions is also different and the new 390 Duke has the aura of a proper mid-capacity performance motorcycle. I personally like the new design language and feel it goes well with the hooligan DNA of the Duke. It is available in two color options and my personal pick is the blue shade. KTM has also focused on improving the quality levels of the new machine and it is easily visible as fit and finish levels are much better than the older bike. Talking about features, you get a crisp 5-inch TFT console that comes loaded with information. It can be toggled via a new switch cube that looks premium and is also easy to use with riding gloves. There are 3 riding modes: traction control, launch control, Bluetooth connectivity for call, music and message controls, turn-by-turn navigation, Type-C charger, and you can even control a GoPro.
The first thing that you would notice on the new 390 Duke is its acceleration. The throttle response is very sharp. This motorcycle is properly quick. KTM claims a 0 to 100 kph acceleration time of under 6 seconds, a top speed of 155 km per hour. But on the track, I saw a speedo indicated 163 km per hour. So in terms of performance, the new 390 Duke is properly fast. Also, KTM engineers have tuned this engine very well because 80% of the torque and power is available at just 5000 RPM. So at city speeds, there is no knocking even if you're riding this motorcycle at a gear higher, and this engine is very tractable. So talking about performance, the power and torque increment compared to the older motor can be easily felt. In fact, this engine kind of reminds me of the Gen 1 KTM 390 Duke. It is properly frantic, but it is also polished to a certain end. Refinement levels are good, but it isn't the most refined engine out there. But the vibes are very minor and go very well with the KTM 390 Duke DNA. The thing is that the highlight of the Gen 1 KTM 390 Duke was its heart, and it's the same story with the new 390 Duke. It's a hooligan, but with a finesse. Apart from the engine, KTM engineers have given all-new hardware on the new 390 Duke. Yes, the main frame is the same as the older bike, but it gets a cast aluminum subframe. The suspension, it is similar to the older bike, upside-down fork, monoshock at the back, but it is adjustable. Last but not the least are the wheels and the disc brakes, which are lighter than the older bike. As you guys can see, there are a lot of differences on the new motorcycle. So how have these changes made an impact? Let's find out.
The new 390 Duke feels extremely nimble and light. Direction changes are lightning quick and this should make it a fun bike to hustle through the city streets. But more importantly, the 390 Duke loves to attack corners, and boy oh boy, it's such a delight to corner hard on this motorcycle. It drops into corners swiftly, holds the line with confidence, and even when you go hard on the gas in corner exits, the bike feels composed. The only negative I experienced were the age-rated Metzeler rubber, as they kind of restricted the full handling potential of the bike, but it's an easy fix. More importantly, the new KTM 390 Duke now comes with adjustable suspension on either end. This will help the rider fine-tune the suspension to better suit their riding style. Given the brilliant handling dynamics, I assume the suspension would be stiff, which is kind of a KTM trademark. How wrong was I? The bike glided over bad surfaces and broken roads. So good was the ride quality that I had to double check if I was on a KTM Duke or a bike with a long travel suspension. This massive improvement in ride quality, coupled with the increase in ground clearance, should make the new 390 Duke a good touring bike as well. The braking hardware is now shared with the RC390 and they offer impressive stopping power, which is critical given the performance on tap. Cornering ABS makes its debut on the new 390 Duke and adds to the safety quotient of the bike.
So KTM engineers have tried to make the new 390 Duke much more accessible to riders, and for that reason the saddle height has been dropped to 800 mm. I am 5 feet 10 tall and I can very easily flat foot. For me, that's not a issue. Even for shorter riders, this is good news. But if you're a tall rider and you feel that this seat height is too low, KTM will also give you an option of a 820 mm seat height directly from the factory. Now let's talk about the riding posture. The handlebar is very wide like a proper street fighter, but it is low set. So the riding posture with a slightly mid set and lower set foot pegs is very comfortable and slightly sporty. It's not overly sporty or not overly upright. It is in between. Adding to the comfort factor is the fuel tank shape. You can easily hug your leg around the tank, and the riding posture is very nice. It's not too committed, not too relaxed, and this makes the new KTM 390 Duke a good touring option as well. While the seat height has been lowered to 800 mm, the ground clearance has risen by 30 mm. So it's very clever engineering by KTM engineers, because this makes the motorcycle more suitable for Indian roads and also more suitable for touring. By now, you guys would have figured out that KTM has hit it out of the park with the new 390 Duke. KTM engineers and designers have put in a lot of effort and thought behind this motorcycle, and the outcome is very, very impressive. What seals the deal further is the pricing. Now, previous 390 Dukes had lost the value for money quotient, but not the new 390 Duke. It is priced at rupees 3.10 lakh rupees ex-showroom, and that means it carries an increment of 12,000 rupees over its predecessor, and for that price, you are getting a phenomenal mid-capacity street bike. KTM has done it again. It has created a new benchmark with the new 390 Duke.